As a longtime Trekkie who has witnessed the evolution of this iconic franchise through various mediums and platforms, I must say that the prospect of Star Trek Lower Decks continuing beyond Paramount Plus is an exciting one. The show's unique blend of humor and Star Trek lore has certainly found a special place in my heart. The animated comedy series Star Trek Lower Decks is set to come back for its fifth and final season on Paramount Plus starting October 24th. The previous season's finale, titled Doubles, Old Friends, New Planets, left fans hanging as Lieutenant Devon Tendi, Noelle Wells, gave up her Starfleet career to save the crew of the USS Cerritos, with Lieutenant Becker Mariner, Tawny Newsome being rescued in the process. The crew, especially Lieutenant Sam Rutherford and Eugene Cordero, felt sad about Tendi's departure, but they remain hopeful that she will rejoin Starfleet in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5. As a dedicated Trekkie, I found the conclusion of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4 shedding light on why Lieutenant Beckett Mariner clings to her role as a lower decker, the loss of her idol and friend from Starfleet Academy, Ensign Sito Joxa, from Star Trek The Next Generation left an indelible mark on Mariner, fostering a resolve to stay away from any raid that might inadvertently lead to another Starfleet officer's demise. In the end, the crew of the USS Cerritos banded together to rescue Mariner from clutches of a disgraced ex-Starfleet Academy cadet Nicholas Locarno. Yet Mariner remains a staunch Starfleet advocate. So what twists and turns await us in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5? Star Trek Day, Paramount Plus unveiled a fresh glimpse from Season 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks. The 2-minute sneak peek from the premiere episode of Star Trek Lower Decks' 5th season finds former Starfleet officer Devon Tendi now on a mission with the Orions. As the mistress of the winter constellations, Tendi dreams of a new era for the Orions, one where they abandon their violent past and embrace a more tranquil existence. Despite Tendi's attempts to set a positive example, it proves challenging to erase the Orions' old habits. You can watch the clip here. As a devoted fan, I can't help but share the exciting news about the next chapter in the adventure of the USS Cerritos crew from Star Trek Lower Decks. The official logline for Season 5 on Paramount Plus offers tantalizing hints about what lies ahead in this final voyage, leaving me eagerly anticipating the thrilling conclusions that await us. To most of these racial individual curriculum. In the 5th season of Star Trek Lower Decks, the team aboard the USS Cerritos finds themselves fixing subspace rifts or space holes which are causing turmoil in the Turmoil Alpha Quadrant. Managing these potholes would be simple for junior officers Mariner, Boimler, Tendi, and Rutherford, if they didn't have to contend with an Orion conflict, angry Klingons, diplomatic crises, murder investigations, and most terrifyingly, their own professional ambitions. The forthcoming season on Paramount Plus honors this underrated crew who are on the verge of being promoted out of Lower Decks and into uncharted Starfleet positions. It seems quite plausible that the alterations Tendi is attempting on the Orions in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 might ignite the Orion conflict suggested earlier. It was confirmed in April that Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 will be its final run, as announced by Paramount Plus. This decision coincides with the renewal of Star Trek Strange New Worlds for a 4th season. The showrunner of Lower Decks, Mike McMahon, had expressed his concerns back in 2023 that the franchise's first animated comedy might be nearing its end. However, he still has plenty of tales to tell about the crew aboard the USS Cerritos. In response to this announcement, McMahon and Star Trek executive producer Alec Kurtzman took to social media to express their gratitude to the fans. Jack Quaid, the actor portraying Lieutenant Brad Boimler, took to Instagram to express his gratitude towards Star Trek Lower Decks, just like Noel Wells, the actress behind Lieutenant Devon Tendi, did. Here is what Jack Quaid posted on his Instagram. In a thrilling turn of events, Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 will debut the 2 episodes on October 24, exclusively on Paramount Plus. The grand finale of this season is scheduled for December 19th. Luckily, due to being an animated series, the production and writing process of Lower Decks wasn't influenced by the 2023 WGA, Writers Guild America, and SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists strikes. Star actors like Tawny Newsome and Jack Quaid completed their voiceovers after the strikes were resolved, ensuring that Season 5's ADR, automated dialogue replacement, and additional dialogue were finished. All systems are go as Star Trek Lower Decks gears up to be a major highlight on Paramount Plus's fall schedule. And the full cast of Star Trek Lower Decks is set to return for Season 5, despite Devon and Tendi temporarily leaving the USS Cerritos to rejoin the Orions within the broader Star Trek universe. The other Lower Deckers are optimistic that she'll manage to return to Starfleet. Joining the crew in Season 5 is Lieutenant Tuin, played by Gabrielle Ruiz, who has quickly become a great fit among her fellow deckhands on the USS Cerritos. And following her resolution regarding promotions, Lieutenant Mariner has made her way back onto the Cerritos. In Season 5 of Lower Decks, she intends to curb her self-destructive tendencies. Quirky duo from Star Trek, Bradward Boimler and Sam Rutherford, will reappear alongside the main cast in Lower Decks, as will the rest of the supporting characters. In Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, it's confirmed that the narrative will continue with Tendi and will revisit Orion. Additionally, there are hints of appreciation for Scott Bakula's own work in Star Trek Enterprise. Boimler, who previously acted as captain, is expected to aim for a command career. And meanwhile, his transporter duplicate, William Boimler, remains at large, and he could possibly emerge as the main antagonist in Season 5. Mike McMahon hinted at both a wedding event and a voyage to a long-desired planet destination for the Cerritos crew. Additionally, the transformed hologram Gigi might introduce fresh plot lines for Rutherford and the USS Cerritos team. To top it off, the mentioned Orion conflict, Klingons, murder enigma, and prospects for the Lower Deckers promotions promise an exciting lineup for Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5. Mike McMahon has been suggesting that Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 might be its last on Paramount Plus, implying that Star Trek's first animated comedy could potentially move to another streaming service. Fans of Star Trek Prodigy successfully campaigned for their series to be available on Netflix. At San Diego Comic-Con, Alex Kurtzman encouraged fans to show the same enthusiasm and ingenuity to increase viewership for Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, making it more appealing to potential buyers by other streaming platforms. Whether or not starting or not reimagined Trek Lower Decks could be reimagined in a new format is uncertain, but the final season of the USS Cerritos on Paramount Plus might signal a fresh start for the Star Trek series. And in most of them, in general, of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 updates. In just a while, Paramount Plus will be streaming Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, the crew on board the USS Cerritos. In just a while, Paramount Plus will be streaming Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, and here's a sneak peek at what awaits the crew on board the USS Cerritos. We really outdid ourselves. Big Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 hints revealed by showrunner, and many times that have ever been moved into witting mixing memories and experience that I might see what's going on. They've replaced the world on a final list to do that.
It sounds like it.
No, Tendi isn't leaving Star Trek Lower Decks career, teases Season 5's kick-ass Orion, and Star Trek Lower Decks actor teases Season 5's guest star list is sick.